Greetings, greetings. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Grand rising. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you, and wherever you are joining us from, we greatly appreciate your presence. Good morning, welcome. I do have some first timers over on TikTok. So welcome, welcome, ladies. Welcome, welcome. I am Dr. Daphne Clarke-Hudson. I am a coach, educator, speaker, and an authentic broadcaster. I provide education for my clients to tap into their soul purpose. So, for those of you who are here, I know that some of you were asking intuitive questions. And for that kind of work, for that aspect of who I am, you need to go into my Booksy and book your appointment for consultation. All right? This morning, we have an amazing topic. We are going to be talking about living on purpose requires courage. And Rain, write that in the chat for me, please. Living on purpose requires courage. That's the topic of today's teaching. Again, living on purpose requires courage. Again, allow me to welcome each and every one of you. We are on multiple Facebook pages. We are on LinkedIn. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitch. And we are on Twitter. So thank you. Why you say sorry? What's happening? Oh, okay. All right. So if you can't do it, you can't do it. That's okay. Anybody else in there, if you can write the topic, go ahead and write it. If not, no bother. Okay? Living on purpose requires courage. I understand because you're at work. Okay, no problem. All right. So, for those of you who are new again, I welcome you. I don't know where. Thank you so much. That's Shirley. Thank you very much, Shirley. So if you could help me throughout, I greatly appreciate it. It's amazing your first day and you're adding value. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So let us move directly into the teaching for this morning. This episode will be approximately 1 hour long. 1 hour. All right. And I encourage you to jot notes down because that is the only way you're going to remember. And after the show ends, you want to be able to go back. Although, when you subscribe to my YouTube channel and also any of my Facebook groups, you also have access to them there. So, living on purpose requires courage. First, what's purpose? Who understands? And jot it a yes in the chat if you understand. Who understands that each and every one of us came into this world with a purpose? If that's you, jot in there so I know that you understand that, and I'll have an understanding of, yes, Shirley says yes. So our purpose goes beyond what we are trained for. Our purpose has nothing to do with our college degree and education. Thank you for sharing the live. Our purpose has nothing to do with the degrees that we may have. Our purpose is as unique to us as our DNA is. Our sole purpose is like our fingerprint. Are you with me? Are you understanding? And it is sad that people do not tap into their sole purpose, and for that reason, many exit this life without tapping in what their sole purpose is. Sole purpose is much deeper. Sole purpose is much deeper than us just get up every day and going through the motions. You know, some people go to their jobs and it's Monday morning and they are already stressed out. They are there just going through the motion and to hang around, wait for payday to come, whichever time payday is, whether it's weekly, twice a week, twice a month. They are just going through the motion and waiting on the payday to show up. On the other hand, living on purpose allows us to always be adding value. Living on purpose allows us to always be satisfied with where we are and what we are doing. And you know what about living on purpose? Even when we do not get financial compensation for what we are doing, we are still touching lives and we are still making a difference. Why? Because we know that we were universally created to do that thing, whatever our sole purpose is. And when we understand that, we know that what we are doing is universally designed, and when we do that, universe is going to compensate us. I come live here 5 days a week. And I remember when I was coming 7 days a week. I come and I serve and I add value to the people. Spirit says, here is what you talk about. Why does Spirit tells me what to talk about? Because Spirit knows before I click the live button who is showing up here and what they are struggling with and what they need to hear to encourage them. There are many people that you and I know, and they will tell you, listen, I really cannot explain why I am doing what I'm doing. I just feel that that is what I need to do. How many young people, you know, they leave and they go to college because their parents wants them to go to college. And instead of them doing their studies at college, they are at college launching the thing that is on their hearts to do. And by the time it's time for them to graduate college, many of them retire their parents and be able to pay off that student loan that they accumulate although they were not studying. They were following their sole purpose. They couldn't explain it, but they know somewhere deep inside of them they need to be doing that thing. Facebook is a living example of Mark Zuckerberg following his purpose. Steve Jobs created Appleware in his mother's basement because he knew that he was not created to go study college. He knew that there was something inside of him. Follow your heart, follow your spirit. Universe always guides us to the right direction once we honor our soul purpose. Living on purpose creates some challenges in our lives, especially in our families. Families want us to follow the norm of religion, the norm of family, and the norm of society. And for that reason, this is why living on purpose takes courage. You know what you're feeling in the core of your spirit. Yet you are being faced with all of those challenges with the people you know, the people who are close to you. You cannot be at peace because they are saying, why you trying to do that when everybody else around here is doing this? And you're saying, but that's not what I feel to do. I feel to bake velvet cake. And something is telling me that if I bake my velvet cake and if I go out and give samples, something is telling me that Costco or any big chain will start to carry my velvet cake. I don't know how it is going to happen, but something inside of me is telling me that is what I need to do. Whatever your soul purpose is, I'm giving you velvet cake as an example, as a scenario. Listen, since since I am bold, courageous, and unapologetic enough to say yes to my purpose, my sole purpose. I have lost some friends. I have been labeled backslide, all kind of terms I have been labeled. However, I knew what my Creator said to me when I was laying in that hospital bed with my stroke. I know what I'm called to do. Just yesterday, I stopped by somebody's live on TikTok just to show some love. And she invited me up in her box. And she wanted to find out how I was because we hadn't seen each other for a long time. And I was just casually sharing what was going on. And after I said goodbye and exit the box, one of the person in the box said, I don't know what happened, but when that lady was speaking, something was happening in my body. Something was happening in my body. And I typed in the box and I said, what lady are you talking about? And the host says, he's talking about you, Miss Daphne. And the Spirit said to me, he got healed for The Spirit pointed out to me what he got healed from by listening to my voice. And the host said to him, I am telling you, if you feel connected to her, you need to follow her and you need to reach out and talk to her because she's a powerful, and she said what the term she used to categorize me. So I'm sharing this to say, it doesn't matter where you are and what you're going through. Please, I beg of you, do what you must in order to take full advantage of your soul purpose. Let us stop worrying about the money, because once we said yes, once we take responsibility and accept our soul purpose, the universe, God, source is going to provide for us. Don't worry about the challenges. Don't worry about what family members are saying to you. Let them stay there and try to put pressure on you. You be busy about your Father's business, your Creator's business. Know that you were born and created for a purpose. And only you can live your purpose. Nobody can't live it for you. Your wife can't live it, your husband, your children cannot live your purpose for you. We got to live it ourselves. Living on purpose takes courage. It also allows us to take so many benefits, to derive so many benefits by living on purpose. years ago, I was a speaker at a conference. I don't know if anybody recall back in the day when they used to have online summits. Well, not even so much back in the day. They still do have them. Well, I spoke at this event and I was running a special. And the special was going to end the end of December. And this particular lady from Denver, Colorado, she messaged me and she said, Dr. Daphne, I will be working with you, but I won't be working with you until the 9th of January. I said to her, unfortunately, the promotion ends the end of December. And she said to me, it doesn't matter about the promotion. I know I'm going to work with you, and I know I'm going to start the 9th of January. Because she said, the minute you began speaking, the minute you began your presentation, something said to me, that's the coach for you. That's the coach for you. And with that being said, I said to her, okay, that was my first experience when somebody told me that they got a direct message from the universe that I was the coach for them. So when we began working together, I invited her to join me at a live event in San Francisco. And the Spirit had showed me that she was working on an item. Ah, isn't that wonderful? And I said to her, Jules, you're working on something. I want you to bring it with you. Good morning, Goddess. I said, I want you to bring it with you when you come to San Francisco. And she was puzzled because she did not tell me she was working on something. And during that session, I said to her, tell me more about what it is. What is that thing I see you putting together? And she said to me, it's a healing blanket for my husband, Michael. I said, okay, wonderful. I said, bring it with you when you come to San Francisco. And let me tell you something. When she opened her luggage, I went to her room, and when she opened her luggage, and I asked her to open the blanket on the bed, there was so much energy that was coming out of that blanket. And right there, right then, I began seeing so many more things that she was supposed to do. Listen, let me tell you something. This lady was a retired teacher, a retired high school counselor. And she was getting ready now to do something else with her life. And I told her every little details that I got for her. And in that message and in that healing blanket that she was supposed to be creating for her husband, there were other items that she was also supposed to be creating and working on for couples that was going to get married. And I told her everything I was getting. And both of us began to cry because we were so consumed by the Spirit. And she walked out understanding it's not just about the blanket, but it was all of these other things that had to do with healing on relationships. And I remember one day after our session, she said to me, Dr. Daphne, you need to clone yourself. I said, what do you mean by that? She said, you can reach but so many people, but you need to clone yourselves so that we have many of you over the world doing things the way you do it. And I'm not perfect, I'm telling you. I knew what she was telling me to do. She wanted me to certify other coaches. And let me tell you, I'm human too. I'm disobedient too. I'm getting better. I still have not done that part. And I know that part of why the Spirit have me talking about this is because of my disobedience as well. So, follow your purpose. Listen, there are many people who, because of security, because of fear, they neglect their sole purpose until they retire their full-time job. And they have the courage. Hey, Lady Gemini. They have the courage to then step out and say, all right, I have that security of getting the retirement coming. Now I'm going to begin to believe on myself and go out there and do what it is that I have to do. If that's what you decide, you can. Hey, Oriane, how are you? You can be the one to make the final decision. All I am asking you to do is to have the courage to begin to live in purpose. Thank you for the follow, Queen. Do not allow anything, any situation, any challenges to stop you from tapping into your soul purpose. Stop looking at what the struggles are. Stop watching what other people are doing. And look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I living on purpose? Those of us who decide to live on purpose, it's a lonely road. However, it is worthwhile because you know that you're called and you're set apart from everybody else. How courageous are you to stand out? How courageous are you to say, I'm willing to be the black sheep of this community, the black sheep of this family, because I got my father's work to do? Yeah, you probably don't invite me to Thanksgiving dinner. You probably never call me again to say happy birthday. But guess what? I am all right because I am about my father's business. I am doing what I am called to do. Let me tell you something. When you begin to cultivate the courage to harness and embrace your purpose, you're going to piss a lot of people off, excuse my French. Because what? The more our lights begin to shine, it is really shining and exposing their darkness. And who knows that it's going to stir up their real ugliness. That's not your problem. That is not your problem. It is their concern. We and you and I, we have work to do. And we cannot get distracted about other people not liking what we are doing. It's not for other people to like. It is for us to be obedient and honor who we are called to be. Stop comparing your gifts and talents to somebody else's gifts and talents. There are 20 million ways to cook chicken. Stop going around and saying my chicken is better than your chicken. Cook your chicken and serve it. And stop worrying about how somebody else is cooking their chicken. I want to welcome my people over on Linktree and YouTube. And where else? YouTube. Thank you very much. Thank you, my people over there on TikTok land. Keep sharing and keep tapping the screen. Once we are ready to cultivate the courage to build what we are doing on purpose, we got to be ready to get rid of the fear and self-doubt. Who says you are not qualified? Who said you are not good enough? Who says you were created for greatness? Who dares somebody else to tell you that you are not qualified? You are created for greatness, and don't you dare forget that. You might not look, sound, live in the same area like somebody else does. You're still worthy. You might not have gone to the Ivy League, elite colleges and schools. You're still worthy. Because our sole purpose does not require us to have any of the man-made qualifications. Once we were created to come in this world, we were handed the blueprint of our soul purpose. We were handed our blueprint. So we need to stop going around and chasing everything and open our manual. Open our life, soul, purpose manual. Turn the TV off. Open our soul purpose manual and start going through it. See where we need help. And begin working on that. It is never too late. It doesn't matter how old you are. It is never too late. Never. Looking at me is enough to tell you that it's never too late. If I can do it, so can you. All we have to do is to say, yes, I am ready. I am accepting. Yes. Once we say yes, we need to accept, we need to set goals, reachable goals. Set them in bite-sized pieces. Bite-sized pieces. Not because you're starting late. Pace yourself out. And do it little at a time. Easy does it. Remember, race is not for the swift, but he that endureth to the end. Easy does it. Take your time. Good morning. Take your time. Take your time. Build on it, build on it, build on it. Applaud yourself. Reward yourself for each step that you make. Build a supportive network around you. All the people in your town, in your family, in your village, in your city, in your country might be against you, but there's a whole big world out there. And how can we claim the world? By being on shows like this. Right now, I am on what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right now, I'm on 8 different platforms. Do you not think I'm taking advantage of the world? I live in Florida. You think all the people on my show this morning lives in Florida? How do you keep up? What do you mean? How do you keep up? Expand on that question. How do you keep up on what? Somebody over on TikTok asked a question, so I'm waiting for her to expand on the question. Okay. You said you are at different platforms. Oh, okay. You can subscribe on my link tree. I don't know if I have any moderator in there. Click on my name at the top and click on my link tree. In my link tree, it shows you my website. It shows you all the other platforms that I am on. By going in there, you'll see my YouTube and you'll be able to listen to the broadcasts and things like that. Thank you, Bridget. Thank you so much for that question. All right. Now, let's talk about some practical steps that we are required to take to honor our soul purpose. Those of you who have been here since I began this morning, I ask who understood that we were all born for purpose. And quite a few people said yes. Now, the topic this morning is living on purpose requires courage. I am now going to talk about some practical steps that you will need to have in place to honor your soul purpose. Many of us, once we begin to honor our purpose, we realize that we are no longer in line with what we went to school for, the career that we were trained for. And all of a sudden you realize why you have been so miserable. The first step, once you accept to tap into your soul purpose, the first step is to honor that part of who you are. Say, yes, I am accepting this call. Do not feel compelled to go tell other people, you know, I'm not going to be doing this again and that again. For your immediate family, let's say you're a parent, you would want to call a meeting with the family and tell them in bite-sized pieces what you are thinking of pursuing. Be willing to share with them how they fit into this puzzle. I can tell you from personal experience, many of them will not understand in the beginning. They choose not to understand. However, do not be discouraged. I tell you, I always tell my Mary Kay consultants when I did Mary Kay Cosmetics, I said, listen, your children and your spouses will always support your business once you begin to pay them a stipend. I said, have them put on label, put on price tag, unpack your things, help you with the phone, answer the phone or whatever. Put labels on newsletters and things, and you give them a stipend for doing that. And let me tell you something. People are always saying, how did you come up with that? I said, it's simple. People support what they are a part of. So the same thing with your soul purpose. You know that once you begin to honor your soul purpose, you have your goals set up for what you want. Your plan is to be able to take your family on vacation, all expense paid out of your business that you're doing. Let's say you create a business and you do not have to go get a loan. You don't have to throw a partner to get the money. You think your family is not going to support you when they hear about vacation? You think they're not going to support you? And do not hide the progress that you're making. Let them know the progress you have made. And if you slip a little, let them know that too. But tell them, yeah, this little setback is temporary because it's going to allow me to come back stronger. Reflect on yourself. Ask yourself, do I have the same discipline now that I'm working on my soul purpose like I had when I was working the other 5 jobs? Because there are some of us who are working 5 jobs sometimes. Yes, you leave one job, you go to the other, and you go to the other, and you go to the other. Reflect on yourself. Do I have the same discipline? Many people think that once they tap into their soul purpose. Hello, how are you? I didn't see you say hello there. Once you honor your calling and soul purpose, everybody think it's vacation. They no longer see themselves as committed to doing what they are supposed to be doing. They slack off. You got to be committed to put the time in. Stop cheating yourselves. Stop cheating yourselves. Especially if you're working out of like a home office, you got to let people know you cannot just show up. Let your family members know. Put a sign on the door. Put your office hours on your door. You have to cultivate people to respect what you are doing. Because when you fail, they are going to be the first ones to say, oh, I don't know why you give up your job. You was in a good job with good benefits. So be on the watch out. Be on the watch out. I want to share with you practices that has helped me and many of my clients to honor our soul purpose. Adopt a mindfulness lifestyle. I want you to explore and evaluate the things that you have been taught all over your lifetime, from you as a child to where you are now. Put them on paper and ask yourself, are these still valuable for me? Is this still what I believe? Do I still want to uphold and support these beliefs? You got to be able to look in the mirror and be honest with yourself. You're not doing it for anybody. You're doing it for yourself. You are doing it for yourself. As you do that inventory to create your mindfulness lifestyle, you're going to find out that there's stuff that you don't believe anymore. It's like religion and politics. You know how many people, their entire life is going to a certain church because that's the church that their great-grandmother used to go to. There are people that are supporting political beliefs because that's a family thing. My family is a this, my family is a that. And I used to say to the parents when I taught Parent Leadership Training Institute, I used to ask them, so what happened to your beliefs? I said, don't you call up a representative and let them know what your needs are before you cast your votes for them? And many of the people do not do that. Living on purpose requires courage. You got to be willing to ask the difficult questions. Stop just doing things because it's the norm. Stop doing things because that's what my family always does. It does not work. It doesn't work anymore. You got to adopt your lifestyle. Adopt a mindfulness living lifestyle. Your mindfulness living might say to you, you don't need to go to a church anymore because you are the church. Hey, Daphne, how are you? You are the church. Everywhere you go, your light is supposed to be so shine. If you never set foot under a building again, under a label, I want the God in you to be shining so bright that you can bring other people to that light. I want your light to be a magnet that attracts the people. When you adopt to mindfulness living, you don't have to beat up people over their heads about them being sinners and not being this. You got to just show them the way that you have tapped into your soul purpose. And here's how you're making a difference in your community. Here is how you're making a difference in your life. We got to live what we preach. People need to look on us and see the bright light. When we live on purpose and we do this through a mindfulness living, we attract people to us like magnets. We become approachable. Because what? We see each human as a soul. It doesn't matter where they come from. We see them as a soul. And we know that together we can make a difference and we can impact the world. I want to show you, well, I'm proud to say I'm going to show you 2 books this morning. Remember, we're talking about living on purpose requires courage. Well, the first book I'm encouraging you to read is my book, my first book, first of 8, conversation on success. Not only you see me there, feature with Dr. Ken Blanchard on the cover, not only are you getting my courageous lifestyle, but you're also getting all these other people. This book is $19.95 plus shipping and handling of $6. Those of you that has already purchased a copy, thank you. You can pay on my Cash App. My Cash App is $Daphne Clarke-Hudson. It's right there in my profile. The other book I want you to read is Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. I don't know. This is an old book. I don't know if you all have read it yet. If you haven't read it yet, I want you to get it. Let me see in the chat if you have read this book already. If you have read it, go back in there and read it again. All right? So these are the 2 books you can get. Maybe if you go to Walmart or something, you can get this book there. It's all over the place. Sometimes if you even go to thrift shops, you can get these. This is a very old book, but the wisdom in there is still valuable. Still valuable. So these are the 2 books. Bless you, girl. Go into our Cash App, buy one of the book. That's $25.95 including shipping. And I'll put my John Hancock in there and send it out to you. And you can buy the Rick Warner book wherever your sweet little heart takes you to. All right? So those are the two resources, book reading I want to give you this morning. Now, I want to give, what is it? I want to ask if anybody have any pressing question. One pressing question I can give you one answer for, because it's, we have what? 2 minutes remaining. I spent a lot of time going through that and I didn't do the hot seat coaching. So now even if I go over it, the hour, I want to answer your question. Any pressing question? We do not have any moderators on. And while I'm waiting, I think in November, we are going to start interviewing some people. So not only am I going to be teaching, but you are going to have the opportunity to hear from some live people in real time who are honoring their soul purpose. Honoring their soul purpose. Any questions from anybody on any platform? Valenzabo, good morning over on Twitch. Any questions, anybody? Any questions? I'm doing my best to end on time. Thank you very much. Good morning, Omar. How are you? Good morning, good morning. All right, so no questions. Tomorrow is Thursday, and we will be back again in the morning. This morning we talked about, just to summarize a little, we talked about living on purpose requires courage. And we talk about what is purpose. We talk about some of the things we need to do to stay on purpose. Why is it important to honor our purpose? It takes courage. And we have to be willing to adopt new mindset, mindfulness mindset in order to honor our purpose and calling. We also talk about the benefits and the importance of getting rid of fear and self-doubt. I talk about that. I gave you 2 books that I want you to read, and I told you some of the things you can do to identify your soul purpose. And what else did I tell you guys? All right. You know to watch out for, even when your family members and people who are close to you will be looking to discourage you from honoring your calling and purpose. And I discussed and told you how to make sure you're staying true to that. Include your family in what you're doing, because they will gain interest once they feel like they are part of what you are doing. And I shared some stories of myself and my clients who are walking, dancing, singing, jumping in every aspect of who they are. They have tapped into their soul purpose. They have done it willingly. And it has changed their lives. So I'm so honored this morning. I'm Dr. Daphne Clarke-Hudson. I am a coach, educator, and speaker who provides education for my clients to tap into their soul purpose. If that's you and you're sick and tired of where you are, I encourage you to reach out to me. Text me at 203-885-5093. Reach out to me so we can talk, and I can let you know whether or not I am able to help you to tap into your soul purpose, or I need to direct you elsewhere. Listen, make sure you connect with me. Make sure you bring somebody else the next time you come. Love you, and there's absolutely nothing that you can do about that. So long, everybody, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.